Okay, I think we're going again. All right, so, I don't even know where I was. Sorry, the internet went out.
You were talking about it.
Oh, okay. So, I've got written examples. Or,
That's right.
okay.
Did two first.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to, but it's just the way shortly, it's just like a formalized.
I want to show y'all a couple that I did.
Are we live again?
Yes.
So here's my question about
But you can put all sorts of shortcuts.
differentiating between at my Twitter or at my site.
Okay.
When I put my signs up for my open house like I told you a month ago, I put on my open house signs at Susan J 08.
Okay.
So they opened up their Twitter account. They opened up Twitter, went to at Susan J 08, hit the alley, and they got all the MLS.
Well, okay.
Because
The mistake you made was you took the alley
Right?
URL. The URL that you used to make the alley was from the MLS.
Right. No, from my website, my personal website.
Well, hold on. Let me show you. I had, my son was doing some of them. I just have to get to where it was a while ago. I don't even remember when it was. Darn it. I'm sorry, guys. Just hang with me for 1 second.
Not to my MLS. When they opened the alley, they went right to my webpage. It did go. That's what they're saying.
Oh, to your webpage. But you're telling me the MLS. That's
Well,
two very, very, very different
They
things.
got the MLS listing from my webpage because that's what.
Okay, but that's two very different things. The MLS would have nobody's information at the bottom, like if you or yours, or if they go to your website page, which is what you're saying happened, which is what we want to have happen. Then you've driven them to your website. So in your website, you've got all this information about Brickyard. Again, I'm using it as an example. You know, you are the expert. You are the person that they are going to use. So they can.
So if it's a neighborhood with a bunch of senior citizens, they're not going to have no clue.
Okay. Oh well. Now, yes, I did say that we were supposing that everybody knew what this was, and that's a big supposing.
Yeah, be careful.
I don't. You don't know either, right? Now, what if you wanted to put like a news article or something?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can do absolutely. It should be done.
Like Mount Pleasant.
Okay. All right. Okay.
She made it work perfectly. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's awesome. And now you've got them on your website. See, that's a way to drive people to your website. And how did they get there? Maybe they were driving around like people do, looking at neighborhoods, and they see your sign, and they see the hashtag, and so they go to the hashtag or the @SusanDay08. There's a reason I want you to use the hashtag for the subdivision. But the hashtag subdivision, and so they go there on Twitter, that not only can they see the information about that house that they're driving past, and they don't have to call anybody, they don't have to email anybody, they don't have to even get a flyer out of the box to know how much it is. Okay, all they have to do is just go to that hashtag. But then they're going to go, oh my gosh, look at this. All the houses in here are right here. So we don't even have to get any of the flyers because you tweeted about all of them. And then if you tweet when they sell, people will start following that hashtag because people in Brickyard are interested in what's happening in Brickyard, or the people that want to move in there. Okay, so I had my son do a couple of these for us, and so I was going to use this as an example. You can see where I did it. This says Adrian Realty. That would say your Twitter name, whatever that may be. And then this is the start of your tweet. He started it with hashtag AO Realty. you would start with hashtag your subdivision name. Then you say, this is my suggestion, okay? You say, I would put the street name, home for sale, Brookwood home for sale, and the price. If you have enough room at the very end, you can put the street number on there too, but you know, you're limited in the amount of characters that you can do on Twitter. So you've got to keep everything very compressed. So I would put the street name. Home for sale is important because it is being indexed by Google. So you know that you want to get that for yourself. The price, the hourly, which we're going to go to in a minute. Finish talking about that. And then it says listed by. Oh, look, this one's listed by someone at Agent Owned. So you can, if you like, put at Agent Owned RE, which is the Agent Owned Twitter handle. But if you don't, or if it's listed by Keller Williams, you put listed by Keller Williams. And you just write it out. You don't do at Keller Williams, okay? Now, he did via Stan Huff. That's pretty nice. And I think he tried to check and see if Stan had a Twitter account, because if Stan did have a Twitter account, he would have put at Stan Huff. Now, you're not going to do that because you don't want to give Stan the publicity. Well, you might want to give Stan, but if they're at Keller Williams, you don't want to give that person the publicity. You don't have to mention them. But because it was with Agent Owned, it was done that way. Is everybody following me somewhat?
One question.
Uh-huh.
So you're talking about our farming areas for most part.
Yeah.
But if you have a house listed somewhere else, you still could do this.
Of course.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean,
But it just went to enter your brickyard.
that's correct. And you can put it under both if you have enough space. But I don't really think, actually it probably would clutter up your brickyard thing. And you don't want that to be cluttered. You want it, especially the content that you put on it, you want it to be what is relevant to that subdivision and and not a whole bunch of junk that somebody's just going to go away from. So yes, you can tweet about a house separately.
So who's gonna see that?
You would put the hashtag on the sign.
No, I mean, who's gonna see it on?
And the hashtag, they type in when they pass by the
Oh, so
sign.
only
And
people
instead of
that-
calling you, they could do it this way. Or in addition to your phone number.
So there's no
You-
sense in me doing that unless I have it on my sign. About that house.
Oh, yes. I would, or some other kind of marketing. Because really, I mean, I can't think of a complete waste of time. But this marketing idea is part of a larger marketing idea, which is a whole circle about dominating an area, a geographic area. Okay? And I handed that infographic out one day, and I need to get it out again. But it shows in a pie chart the different things that you need to do, and it's just a big circle. And you dominate one subdivision, and that's enough business, you know, it'll feed you, well, depending on the subdivision, I don't know. I know my mom at one point, how many houses did she have for sale when she was listing and selling in City Farm? How many at most?
25.
25 in City Farm? And nobody else had any, right? And that was before they added on all these other parts. I mean, like when City Farm in like 1976, 77, like there were not that many houses there. All right, so neighborhood domination. Another example of geographic domination. Can somebody tell me in real estate another example of geographic domination? Well, Mount Pleasant's way too big. That's way too big. All right. I'll tell you one. Everett Preston, with Caroline and Glenn, Sullivan's Island. Basically, for a very long time, he had the majority of listings and did the majority of stuff on Sullivan's Island. He is getting older, and I know, so, you know, he has dominated that market for a very long time. with something like this, you could try to take that away, or you could go into some place that nobody's dominating already and not have an uphill battle. That really is up to you. You know, if you want to fight somebody for the territory. ION has a couple of people that work it really, really hard. No one's doing this. Now, since I came out with this, I have seen some other real estate companies doing the hashtags and tweeting, but they're not doing it right, in my opinion. Well, I don't think they really get what I'm trying to do, and I don't know that I am conveying that to y'all, but I think little by little, you're understanding more of what I'm trying to get across. So, you asked, well, if you're in a neighborhood with seniors, or I said, I suppose that everybody in Brickyard knew what a hashtag was. Okay, well, we know that's not the case. In Charleston right now, people driving down the street, in Brickyard, looking at houses, I mean, you could, maybe 25% or 30% would know what a hashtag is. Hashtags cross all mediums, or all social media sites now. So we're just talking about Twitter today, but it also applies to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, So once you get this concept for Twitter, you can automate it to go to the other things.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that why it's better to do the hashtag instead of the ampersand? Because it crosses more.
Ampersand. Ampersand's the and sign, I think.
Yeah.
You mean rather the and.
Right. Like,
I mean,
why not just do at Charleston National Realty? You know what I mean? Like, why? Because then nobody else can have it. Like, then it's only mine, and nobody else can write on it.
Because you want it to be a community. You want it to be a community. Because if somebody's driving on the street and they see it, and they go on there and they see you, I mean, they can just go on Twitter and say, hey man, what's up with this house? Why hasn't it sold? Well, then you can answer.
They can't type on it.
Well, yeah, the ad. Well, no, they can just do at you, but it's still. You're right. I'll have to think about that. That's one thing.
Because I'm thinking I might like to own it. Like, just make it mine.
See, that's
you
what
know?
we did.
I know. Well, also, you'd have a whole bunch of different Twitter accounts, which that is a nightmare.
Well, I could just have the one. I don't need mine, Chrissy Straub. Do I really? I mean, do I really need that one if I have Charleston National?
I don't know. But the thing about it is that I think you do need to have Christy Straub. You should always have your name.
Okay.
And then, if you try to get different ads, then you'd have to set up different Twitter accounts for any different hashtag. Like if you got a listing that was not in Charleston National and you wanted to market it through the hashtag, using maybe the street name or something else, or even your name, then you could do that without, but if you start doing it you're going to also just have a ton, it's too much.
It's just more work.
Keeping up with one is enough, much less more than one.
Okay. I just wanted to see what the point was of
Okay.
doing hashtagging that thing.
Okay.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Okay. So I her that she uses Charleston National Realty. That's what she uses, right?
I use both. I own Charleston National Realestate.com, Realty.com, and Christie'sRealty.com.
Okay, so you had to.
Well, those are domain
Yeah,
names.
I bought my domain
But
name.
those are domain names.
My only real business that I own is Christie's Realty. It's just Christie's Realty. I own that business.
Okay.
Well, my question is, could I put, my name is Teresa Porter at Teresa H. Porter because it was taken, I put my initial in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then hashtag, and I want to do my subdivision.
Mhm.
And then Shell Point. Could I put hashtag Shell Point Realty?
Well, let's look at it. All right, if you want to do Shell Point, now you're not going to have to put Teresa Porter. You're not going to have to put that at because Twitter puts it there for you. So Twitter's going to have your picture and your name right above that tweet every time. You don't have to put that on there, in the tweet. But let's look and see if Shell Point
It's not on there.
Well, and Liz says that we shouldn't use realty, that we should use real estate.
Oh,
Because it makes it sound like we own a business when we really don't own that business.
Well, and also realty is misspelled very often. But Twitter, you have to be short.
Okay.
Because you only have so many characters. So if you're selling out real estate, well, then you're not going to get a whole, Charleston National Real Estate, forget it.
Yeah.
I would do, CHS, NAT,
I'm doing homes, I think.
or whatever.
CHS, NAT homes.
Homes,
Do you think that's
good.
fine? Like, 'cause then you can just sell
RE,
it, right?
RE is good,
Okay.
CHS, NAT, RE.
Uh-huh.
But Shell Point,
And it's Mount Pleasant,
Um,
so would you put?
you could put MTP.
Okay.
Well, let's put MTP and search. Okay, so nobody's used that, you could use it.
Okay.
It will hold the capitals when you type it in, if you type it in with capitals, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, so, you could do Shell Point Charleston, and the Twitter abbreviation for Charleston that everyone uses is, CHS. So, you would start out with your hashtag Shell Point MTP, and then you would say, the street name, and the, home for sale, and the price,
Okay.
and your hourly.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it'll
we'll
take me
get to that.
back down to the bottom. Me to the top. And your hourly, and, then, if it's not listed by you, you say listed by so-and-so,
Okay.
okay?
Got that.
Now, that may be enough for today. I don't know if I should try to go into the hourly. I'll just mention it, and then we'll do hourly another time, but hourly, if you need to shorten a web address to get it into a suite, you can use that by going to ow.ly, hourly, and figure it out for yourself from there, or else I'll explain it next week. But it goes straight to your webpage.
Yeah, if you just Google it, it's so easy. It says, copy paste your address in here and it shortens it right up.
Yeah, if you Google pretty much anything, you can teach yourself
Right.
almost everything. I did not know anything about computers, or I didn't even know what a file meant when you attached a file to an email like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And I've taught myself how to build websites and all that just by Googling and stuff. But this is what happens when you go to the Owly. You put in your tweet, you link it up to your website. Now, it's going to go to Agent Owned, and, okay, so, I probably need to figure out what I'm going to do about that.
That means the house is sold.
Yeah,
right?
it's no longer in the MLS. So I probably I'm gonna need to have a different 404 page for that. People will not generally get to that part of your website because they would have to go way down if you're tweeting this regularly to get to something that's already gone from the MLS. Does that make any sense?
No, I agree.
Because my son did this for me. My son did this, when is this? In February.
Oh.
Okay, and he just did it one day in February. Let's see, maybe one of them still. And maybe just 404. So, what you need to do, I need to do, is change the 404 page, which is being not found. This one is still on there, thank goodness. Okay, so, when they did the Owly, they clicked the links. They're on your website, not agent owned, because you got it.
Yeah, if you don't have a website, you're kind of out of luck.
Well, but we'll get to that part too.
Okay.
You can always use agent owned.
You can?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
That's
It
fine.
be like a step one. You know
A
what I mean?
step
Like,
one?
Yeah, I just don't, I don't have designs, I just turned in my stuff for, postcards, so I feel like I can't start this without this,
Yes,
you know, like-
absolutely. Now, I gave you, I don't know if you got one page. I've got a one-page handout that I sent out earlier, but what I need to get, and I'll get for y'all that want it, I've got that diagram, and it's a circle, and it shows you in a circle how area domination works and where you start. It says start here.
Yeah, are you gonna send it out?
Yeah, I'll also, for people watching, or viewing this later on or today, I'll have it as a download right by the video, so you can download, the things we're talking about. But, for the broadcast, that's it. Join us next week, same time, if you want to learn about Owly, and we'll continue this discussion. Thanks.